Did Ellie freeze? She froze. We were just talking about before the show. She's freezing at least once every episode. So I guess I'll be Ellie. Hello, everyone. I am not Ellie from Nourishment Redacted, but welcome to Lioness Lifestyle Live. This is a show where we honor a keto, carnivore, or meat-based woman, and they share their experience and their healing journey to inspire and to bring our community together. But although I am not Ellie, am Cristie. My channel is Meeting Wellness. It's so nice to meet with all of you this evening. We've all been inspired by someone's story, and we believe that sharing these stories is one of the very best ways to help people who might be sick and without hope. Are you back, Ellie?
I'm back. I'm so sorry.
I'll let you talk now. No, I just did your part and mine, so I'll let you take the next part. Go.
Okay, perfect. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. We want this to be a place where we lift each other up and show that healing through diet is possible. Please get your questions ready for our amazing guest. You know her, you love her. You'll see her in a little bit. Please put QQQ or question mark to get our attention so we can bring your questions up. But we would love to hear from you in the chat. So let's chat it up down there. Your turn, Cristie.
Awesome. It is now time for one of my very favorite parts of the show, and that is the roar of the week. And here we go. This week's roar of the week is literally just a bunch of roars. So roar, that was from somebody who wished to remain anonymous. We got a roar from Yvette, and we got a roar from @Smoky&Meat. And I chose those three roars to shout out because Ellie, I think they listened to you and they watched the replay, and they must have watched it all the way till the end, because it's at the end of the show that you say, if you watch this till the end, roar at us in the comments. And so after last week's episode, we had 3 roars down there in the comments, and that's where I found those to I know, I was so excited. That's where I found those to shout out. So every single week we look for a comment from one of you wonderful viewers. We usually look for them in those comments that you leave after the show is over down below, and we will find another awesome roar to shout out for next week's episode.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cristie, and thank you to all those roars. Okay, without further ado, let's welcome Booby Goats, aka Erin. Hello. Hi, Erin. Welcome to the show.
Up, Lionesses.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much. We would love to share your story tonight. So can you share who you are, your health journey, all the way up to finding a carnivore lifestyle?
Okay. So I would say I was a pretty healthy kid. And then when I hit puberty, I gained some weight. I would come home from school and just like sit, watch TV Land and binge, basically. And because I wouldn't eat the food at school, it would give me massive headaches. So I would start to just grab the light Yoplait yogurt and take it to school during high school, and that would be my lunch. But when I would come home, my mom would always have like cookies or something, and we just eat. I wasn't like really big. Now looking back at the photos, I'm like, I wasn't that big. I was just crazy thinking I was fat. And I decided to start skateboarding, bicycling. I lost a ton of weight just doing that. Got us a job during high school, and I was on my feet all the time. So I lost my weight. I was looking really good. And then when I was about 19, 20, I met my husband, and he was really into going out to eat a lot. And I wasn't really a fast food kid because I have 7 brothers and a sister. So we would go out a lot, but not a lot, you know, like he does it almost all the time type of thing. And so when we got pregnant with our first kid, I put on about, like 60 pounds. And I never lost that weight. It was crazy. It's always been there. And then with my second, I had a 9-pound baby. And I'll probably keep going because I have 10 kids. I have 5 boys and 5 girls. and my oldest is 18 and my youngest is 2. And when I got pregnant with my second, I had a 9-pound baby. And then the nurse mentioned that, you were like right on the line for gestational diabetes, but they didn't say anything. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to ask about that? Like, I really didn't know. I didn't become a healthcare advocate for myself until later on, because I was just like, I'll do exactly what you say, la 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 stuff. So when I got pregnant with my third, but he was kind of big, so they tested me for gestational diabetes probably like when I was 5 months in, and I was positive. So I went and I had to go back because they called me back, and I had to talk to a nutritionist, and she gave me basically guidelines of what I needed to eat. And I'm like, okay, I will do everything you say. I'll check my blood and all that. So I did what she said, and my sugars were super high. And I was like, hold on, this isn't working. I'm eating the whole grains. I'm eating the hamburger thing that they tell you to eat in the My Plate situation that they give you. And my blood sugars are still super high. So what I did was I got rid of all the carbohydrates, which I thought were carbohydrates at the time, but I still ate like plenty of vegetables and I ate meat. And that like fixed my blood sugars, because I figured it like a game, except at night it wouldn't go down. So they made me take like a glyburide, but it was a really low dose. It was like a 1 something of it. I don't remember. That was like 16 years ago. And then when I had my next son, I had the same situation, and I decided to like really go down low carb, and it fixed everything on my blood sugars. And I started to exercise after I ate, and that helped a lot. Now, I heard about keto, but I never really looked into it. And so I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna eat this way. It's working. And they made my glyburide go down to a 0.5 because, again, at night it would not go down, my blood sugar. And then when I got pregnant with what are we up to, 4? We're at the 5th one. We were like, my husband was with me at this one, and he was like, after they took the glucose, he was like, why don't we hurry up and do like a bunch of squats, and then we'll run up and down the stairs and then have them take your blood. And I did that, and they took my blood, and I didn't register gestational diabetes because we just played the system. And instead, I just ate like I had gestational diabetes, but I didn't have to like prick my finger the whole time. And it was pretty cool. I still had 8-pound baby, but that's my normal, was an 8-pound baby. And with all of them, I did the math, the medium of it all. 8.14 is usually what it is. Anyway, so with her, I didn't have to do it. With the 6'1", I didn't do enough exercises. My husband wasn't with me to push me all the way up the stairs and back. So I was like right on the line. And they're like, since you were on the line, we're going to go ahead and do the gestational diabetes stuff. And I was like, son of a gun, I'm going to make me prick my finger every day and call and call and call, because you have to call in. It's so annoying. And I have like, well, I didn't have it before I started having babies, but after I had babies, my anxiety was so bad. I couldn't call to make appointments. I used to like beg my husband to do it. I was like, I can't do it. You just make the appointment, the first one, and I can do the rest. And he's like, okay, fine. It was like some weird like hump that I had to get over to get things done. And oh, it was so bad. But then with the 7th one, I learned about, I used to walk with all my kids. I would gain like 30 to 60 pounds with them during pregnancy, but I would lose all that, and I would just stay at like 200 would be like my stable all the time thing after I had a kid. And then like when I heard that you could lose about 40 pounds if you joined the post office, I was like, oh, walking and getting paid for it? I'm going to do this. This is going to be awesome. And I did. And I lost 40 pounds. But I also became pregnant with my 7th. And they decided instead of having me walk and lug the bags, I'd have to drive those big 2-ton trucks, is what they call them, with the dually wheels and all that. And you have to go to like all the blue boxes and pick up mail and stuff. So I did that, and I gained my weight back with him, but I didn't have the gestational diabetes because I was walking all the time. And then they did the blood sugar thing, and I was fine. And I was like, really? And the doctor's like, yeah, it's weird. You get it every once in a while. I'm like, oh, okay, going through the work. And then with him, I gained all the weight back because what happens is after you exercise for so much, you still eating like you're exercising all the time, and you're not. Your brain is exercising. Your brain is tired when you're driving around all day or you're on a desk all day. The sun must have fell. He's fine, I think. And then like you will gain your weight back, and you'll be like, how did I do this? What did I do? And with Flash, my husband back in 2018, we were able to move down here to Tennessee because his family farm, they needed help down here, and we were like, okay, well, we'll take all the kids to the farm because that's an awesome place to raise a bunch of kids. So we came down here, and I was pregnant with my 8th one. And I did have gestational diabetes with him. I didn't have enough time going back and forth and switching doctors that it wasn't really diagnosed, but I just ate like it was because I already knew I had it. And because after I'm blaming this on just joining the post office and losing weight because I was still kind of eating that way. And I could not, after I had him, I was still 230 pounds and I could not lose it. And I finally did when we got the goats and we started like cutting down trees and working the farm. I was back down to 200. And then in 2020, I got pregnant again with Emmett. And no, I didn't. No, wait, I did. I had gestational diabetes with him too. I had to think about that one because they did put me on metformin, but they put me on like a 0.5 dose because I was just eating the way I was supposed to be eating. And then with Raquel, she's the last one. She's the one that I had to have the C-section with. I was on the line with her when they did the gestational diabetes test, the glucose thing. And I was just like, well, can you give me all the stuff? And I'll check my blood this time. I'll see if it's going well. And I did really good. Even at night, my blood was okay. But she was a C-section. And none of the chairs in my house were tall enough for C-sections. If anybody had one and your chairs aren't tall enough, oh, it was awful. And I also had a cold. So anytime I had to cough, you have to like put the pillow really tight against your stomach so you don't rip stitches. Oh, it was just pretty much the most awfulest thing that ever happened. And if I had the C-section first, I probably wouldn't have had like a ton of kids. Honest. But anyway, I was holding her. She was about 4 months old. So we're sitting on the couch nursing, and I'm watching homesteading stuff because I was like on YouTube. That's what sometimes motivates me to get outside and do things because we got rid of the chickens at that point, so I could have a garden. It's kind of hard to do the chickens and garden at the same time for me. And I'm watching this guy, and he has like Lyme disease, and he's like, I'm gonna do this thing called the carnivore diet. And I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. This guy, how's he gonna poop? Like, what is this? And I started making fun of him, but I also subscribed because I was like, he's gonna have a heart attack in front of his children. This is gonna be great. And because I was talking about him and kind of making fun of him with my older kids, my phone started to suggest that I watched like Dr. Barry. He kept popping up in my feed. And one day I was like, I have nothing else to watch on YouTube. I might as well since the baby fell asleep on me. And I'm like watching Dr. Barry. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. What is this? What is this? And then I start reading comments and stuff. And I'm like, so wait a minute. What is this? And I keep watching him. And then finally it kind of sounded like he was challenging me. He was like, who wouldn't like to lose 30 pounds in 30 days? And I was like, well, I wouldn't like to lose 30 pounds. I would love to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And I just decided to, that February, just write down everything I needed, order what I needed, like, the special salt and all that stuff, because I fell for everything. And I was like, I gotta get this and I gotta get that. And the liver pills and all the things. And I started March 3rd, 2023. And The first day, I remember it because it was like a fishy Friday for me, and I had to make I made sort of like crab cakes, but with salmon patties. I made salmon cakes, and I had scrambled eggs. Like that was my day, and it was a weird one too because I would get these waves of like, well, shouldn't you supposed to be eating something else? And and it was just kind of weird. It was almost like, so a long time ago, I did smoke cigarettes and I quit, but during that like cold turkey quitting that I did, you could like there would always be these waves that you would feel that like I guess it's just your nicotine leaving the body, or just like maybe carbs in general trying to leave your body. It just felt weird. It was weird. And after that, I see it a few days in, I wake up and my knees don't hurt. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? I'm like late 30s. My knees have always hurt my whole life. What is going on? And I really didn't do my research. I just kind of jumped into carnivore. So I didn't know that this anti-inflammatory thing would take pain out of me. And I was just so happy. I was like doing squats down the floor and back up. And it's hilarious because of like a 250-pound woman doing that. But you know, doing it and not hurting and going fast at it. Because I used to exercise like a beast every other day just to like get down to where I had to be at, because I knew with weight loss you need exercise, and that's what I would do after pregnancies and stuff. So I was pretty much in shape, but I was also super inflamed just from probably being poisoned my whole life eating the standard American diet. And I was just like a few days later into that, because I had epidurals with all these kids, except for 2 of them. One fell out, and Flash, he just came really fast. And I've always had lower back pain. And that's one of the things like that they warn you with the epidural, that you're going to have lower back pain. And I've had it. I had it forever. I never really thought it was the epidural that did it, because I was a crazy skateboarding fool and I would get in accidents like all the time. Not the best, but I would do it. I would skateboard. And I just thought it was my lower back always hurting, and I just kind of lived with it. And when I woke up, I was like, my back doesn't hurt anymore. What is this? What kind of healing is this? What black magic is happening here? You know, like it was crazy. And then I started to lose weight. And I was like, hold the phone. We need to get a better scale, because every week I am dropping weight. And the first 30 days I lost 30 pounds, and then like a few more months into it, I lost 3 months in, I was like 50 pounds down. I was like, there's always a smile on my face. I'm just so happy. I'm having a good time type deal. Like, this is great. And then my parents had their 40th reunion, or no, it's their 40th anniversary party. That's what it was. 40th anniversary party in May, and they had everybody come out. We all went back to Ohio, and there was a big party. And my aunts and uncles from New York came down, and they were talking about, we're doing the carnivore diet. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That's what I'm doing. And my aunt, she had to quit her teaching job because she had a stroke, and she had type 2 diabetes. And she reversed the type 2 diabetes, and all the problems that she had from the stroke, her left arm not being able to move and her face, all came back. She's better because of carnivore diet. I think they're more ketovore now, but I thought that was really cool. And then my sister-in-law, she drops her jaw. She's like, what have you been doing? Because the last time I saw her, I was pregnant with the last one, and I was huge, guys. I think I was like 260 with her. Like, got big. And she was like, what have you been doing? And I was like, I'm doing the carnivore diet. And she's like, no kidding, your brother does that. And I was like, no, he doesn't. Are you kidding? It was pretty silly. And partying went on and there was a dirty margarita and I was like, you know what? I've been really good for like 3 months. I haven't drank anything. I'll just try a little bit. Right away, I got this horrible headache and I was like, oh God, this isn't good. So that like killed me from that. And then during the summer, I was like, because when I'm not really nursing and I'm not pregnant, I like to have a beer and I really liked IPAs. And I kind of forced myself to drink a few during the summer and I could not. Like after there was one my husband got me called Bear Hug and it just made me so sick. And I was like, what is going on? I can't drink beer anymore. It's so gross. I'm cured, like I don't need it. And I actually felt better on carnivore than drinking in general. So I was just like, holy crap, I just found the cure to alcoholism. What the hell is this? And then, let's see. And then like around the end of the summer, I was kind of feeling kind of down about carnivore because I was like the only one that did it. And I kept talking about it to my family so much so because I was having so much healing going on. Like, I was just like, man, I feel really good. Why do you feel that way? Why are you so sad? Get up. Let's go. Let's go do stuff. Like, I am happy. So everything has to be happy around me. And I'm like, hey, maybe we should change what the kids are eating. And my husband was like, what are you talking about? Like, he didn't really trust it. And I'm like, I think I'm really trusting this diet. Like, what the heck kind of diet is this? This is awesome. Come on. And so I got him to quit drinking Dr. Pepper, which was really hard for him because he loves his Dr. Pepper. And I got him, he's drinking unsweet tea right now. And he dropped like 50 pounds. He went low carb. And so far we did for the first year that I was on carnivore, I got the kids to go low carb, but they could still have their cheats. And my husband still sometimes will bring them home crap to eat, but it usually ends up on the floor. And I've noticed when they have the crap food, that's what's the big mess. Like if I just feed them more carnivore, ketovore stuff, I don't have a big mess. Like the chickens, sure, they can eat like the fruit and stuff, but like the dogs like to clean up after the kids, and that is a win. So I'm just like, yeah, we gotta cut the crap now. So for this month, I actually have them all the way down to like keto, yeah, probably ketovore, I guess is what you would call it, because they can still have their fruits, and if they want a vegetable, they can have it. But I'm also like super meat heavy with them, and no more starches. I'm sick of starches. They're not the greatest. And then I need to go back to what I was talking about. Anyway, at the end of summer, the first year, I was feeling kind of low. Everybody wanted me to shut up about talking about carnivore because when it works, and you want to tell everybody. And I was talking to my daughter and I was like, this really works, but if you talk to people about it, they're going to look at you like you're really crazy. And she was like, well, yeah, you're right. But you really do feel a lot better now and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know what to do. And then I remember Dr. Barry was like, when you're done with your 30 days, why don't you do like a little testimonial on YouTube or something in one of his shows? And I was like, I got a YouTube channel. I've had it forever. In the beginning when we moved here, I wanted to do like maybe a goats homesteading thing, but it never like came to fruition. I never really did it. I did play a couple goat videos and that was about it. And I was like, okay, I'll get on here. I didn't really know how to use Canva at the time, but I made a little YouTube short and I put it out there. And I got JT from Poco Moonshine Family wanted to interview me. And I was like, ooh, I must be famous now. This is awesome. I'm getting interviewed. So he interviewed me and I was like, well, now I got a YouTube channel, so I better YouTube now. And so I started to YouTube. And then I wanted to find more community is what I was looking for. And I started to watch Homestead How. I started to watch some other channels. I really don't follow them anymore because they do other things that I don't like. And then, let's see. And then I had to get brave and go click on these things that everybody's doing, these live chats, and see what this is about. And I did, and I enjoyed them. I started showing up pretty regularly here, and I did Old Man Carnivore. I used to go there all the time too, really regularly, and I needed that. I needed some kind of strange community. And Nia, yeah, I'd go to hers too. Her campfires that she used to have, those are awesome. And I show up when they pop up randomly sometimes. I like them. And I think community is like, it is key. It's something, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I've done carnivore, I can do it on my own, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's something, there's something special with just like a group of like-minded people, and also people that want to share, share and support each other. Because this is kind of funny, for a few months, I was feeling really, really low. And I was watching Jenny Mitch, and she was feeling the same way. And she's like, what do I do? What happened? And she started doing a bunch of tests. And I'm like, I don't do tests. So let's figure out what's going on with me. And I haven't taken my electrolytes in a long time. So I decided to contact like Keto Chow and Element. I didn't know the controversy at the time, but anyway, I contacted them. And they sent me out a whole bunch of free stuff. And I was like, yes. And I would drink one of their, or take one of their electrolyte pills and feel awesome. So I was thinking, oh, well, maybe it's an electrolyte thing that was wrong with me. Later on, I mentioned this in one of the chats, and Papa Carnivore Peter, he was all like, are you upping the fat? And I'm like, that's what everybody says on carnivore, something's wrong. Do you have enough fat? And I'm like, oh, well, I don't think I've been doing carnivore right this whole time, because I wasn't eating enough fat. And my body was probably like, you need it for your brain. And I started upping the fat, and I felt so much better from doing that. So much so that I was doing, on my channel, I did in September, like a 30-day challenge where every day I would do 50 burpees. And I did that through all of September. I continued my burpees until I kind of injured my arm, and then I stopped. But then I got this really cool weight machine that was discounted at Walmart for like $100, and everywhere else it's like $500. And I was like, we got to get this. Pull up the credit card. Let's do it. And it took me like 6 hours to put together. And I've been working at this machine for like 2 months. And the other day I was like, holy crap, what happened here? So I've been exercising like constantly. Not because I'm good at exercising. No, I hate it. But my muscles feel like I gotta do it. So I have to do it. I have to keep moving, because this is like some weird healing business that's going on with me right now. Like, it comes in waves, but I do it. I love carnivore, man. It just makes me feel really good. And if me doing what I like to do, which is like testing sardines or eating in front of a camera, because I like to eat on the general. So why not eat in front of a bunch of people? And then, I don't know, just like working outside and showing what I'm doing. I'm like, well, I've got the phone with me. Might as well start recording and doing stuff, because what else do I got to do? And it's just me. I want to somehow show that I'm functioning. I'm fully functioning. I'm doing better. And all I'm doing is eating meat. Like, what is this? This is great. This is awesome. But anyway, that's my theory. And I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. You said a lot of things that I could definitely identify with. And Ellie is fixing there we go. I wanted to bring this up that Josephine said, I upped my butter from hearing Erin. Wow, the last 3 days, my energy is awesome. So yeah, it's crazy how usually the fat in the meat is enough, but sometimes I'll make, a picanha like I did today. And, usually it's fine. But then every now and again, it's like, I got to cut off a couple slabs of butter with that. It's like something inside me says, like, you need those butter slabs with that meat. And then when I do, or sometimes in the morning, I'll be like, I'm going to take a bite of butter. And man, it just takes me, I go to work like on another level. So did you used to fear fat before your carnivore diet, before your carnivore way of eating? Because I definitely went through a time in my life when I read the label and I was like, nope, too much fat in there. I knew nothing about different qualities of fat, but it's like, oh, that has too many fat grams. I'm not going to eat that because that's going to make me fat. Did you go through a phase like that as well?
Well, I kind of did and I didn't. My mom was really into that, so she's like the dieting queen. She's done all the things, and as kids, oh man, we had the worst milk, like the 1%. It was awful. So with my kids, we didn't do that. We always did red cap, and we kept like butter and all the things. But like I don't think I've ever actually looked at that like that. Like when I was like maybe when I was 16, 17, when I was looking at the Yoplait and my mom would only buy the fat-free one. That's like the only time. Because I don't think I've ever actually really cared about that stuff until like the inflammation in my brain went down and I was like, we gotta look at everything. Oh, it was horrible. I couldn't crunchy mom the peanut butter. I was like, we're just getting nuts and doing it ourselves for the kids. I had to stand there in that aisle for like 20 minutes, like, none of this is food. And my husband was like, shut
up. I love that. I totally have been there, like walking down the aisle and just completely rejecting everything because you know the truth. You know what real food is because you've seen how it's changed your life. Erin, you have a lot of kids. You're a mama, and I love that. If I could have more kids, I totally will. My question is, with, you kept having gestational diabetes, mostly with almost all of them. What would you say to somebody who maybe is pregnant or maybe has gestational diabetes? What would you say to them to give them encouragement or what have you?
Well, if you don't really trust the carnivore way of eating, I would say go ahead and look into the ketovore way of eating. Just eat more fatty meat or eat just meat and add butter to it. And then just like you want to eat more, well, if you're feeling like the vegetables, do it. Because I remember, having it, I would always want more meat and I would force myself to eat the vegetables while pregnant just because I thought I needed them. But apparently the baby knew better and I needed the meat. So yeah, eat more meat.
Are you there, Cristie?
Okay, sorry. Yes, I know. I was starring a question. Okay, so I wanted to ask you because you said you feed your kids a lot of meat, which I am. I think that's amazing. Those of you that know me know my son has been basically carnivore for a year. And when we changed his diet, I noticed a drastic difference in his behavior. And the one time I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure, he had a milkshake and some things that he was not part of his carnivore way of eating. For the next 2 or 3 days, the annoyed, a little bit angry kiddo came back. And that was one of the reasons why I was like, I think that he, when his brother took him through the fast food line, I don't think he just got burger patties. I think he got something else. Do you notice a difference when your kids, I know right now you said they're, pretty ketovore, but when you go a little more back the other way, do you notice a difference in their behavior or focus or anything like that?
Oh yeah, you definitely, they start whining more, they fight more. Oh, it's bad. And I'm just like, why? Why did you bring home those ugly little Debbie devils? Throw them out. Give me the chickens. Like it's crazy how insane kids get. Like they're usually pretty okay, really calm kids. So when they get sugar and stuff, oh man, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, imagine having 30 of them in a room and none of the parents know not to feed them sugar. So they come to me all sugared up and then I have to try to teach them math against their will.
I resonated so much with you, Erin, when you were like, the carby food, the junk food is the worst to clean up. Like if my kids have rice, it's everywhere. If they have bread, crumbs everywhere. When they have meat, they get a little greasy. You give them a little, soap and water or wipe, done. Like I hate it when carbs come into the house. I wanted to know, what was the moment that you truly knew you would never go back to your old way of eating?
It had to have been when I had that last beer, because it didn't work. I didn't like it. It didn't feel good. And I haven't been like super good carnivore either. I've found out I was a carb addict. My daughter had cookies and I love biscotti, so I tried a biscotti. I was like, what I haven't had carbs in forever. Let's try it. Let's see what's going on. And I used to love dipping the biscotti in the tea and then eating it. And oh, it was delight. And I did that, but I couldn't stop. I had like 5 and I was like, what is going on? I've never had this problem with sugar ever. And I had to turn around and walk away. And then the next day, I felt like I woke up and my knees and back hurt again. And I was like, what is this horrible pain? What is this? And then even worse, like my really good mood, I found myself kind of snappy. I had to apologize a lot. I was like, what is going on? There's nothing good here. I need to go back. So I've been carnivore. Like I can't cheat or do anything like that ever, because when I do, there's always consequences. Like last summer, I was like, if I grow this cucumber, I'm definitely going to eat it. Well, I should have peeled the cucumber, because if I did that, it probably would have digested a little bit easier when I tried like just a little bit of it. Dude, my stomach was like squeeze. I could not. And I'm like, why do I keep doing this to myself? My brain's like, it's okay, you can do it. And then like I'll try it and I'm like almost die in pain. And I'm like, no, I'm good in carnivore. Like I feel so much better that way. So I will stay and I will advocate for everybody to at least try it. Because why not? I like when Dr. Berry said 30 days, I was like, well, what the hell else do I got to lose? It's just 30 days. I'm not going to get a stroke or a heart attack in 30 days. Come on. So I did it. And I'm so glad I did it. That's the best part. And I stayed because I really like it. I like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel more alive, maybe born again than I've been my whole life, you know? And I like it. I like it because it woke me up, and I love it.
Yeah,
feels like a weird talk about it.
So Victoria's saying someone gets credit for this saying, but I live it. I eat the protein that comes with my fat. Yes, I wonder if you have ever tried a fat fast, Erin, because you were talking about how much you do like the fast. I did a 3-day fat fast one time, and I really did enjoy it. And I did lose about 4 pounds during those 3 days. But I was just wondering if you've ever done anything like a fat fast, or if you could tell us about, you mentioned experimenting with things like sardines. So if you've never done a fat fast, maybe other experiments that you've done that you've liked or not liked.
I've never actually committed to a whole fat fast, but when I'm hungry during the day or I feel like just a little off, I'll just take like, you know, a tablespoon of butter, pop it in my mouth and just kind of suck on it. And I'm fine until I eat. And I just like, was it last month? I got off the thing of doing like 2 weeks of sardines. That's all I ate for 2 weeks. That was nutty. I almost lost like 10 pounds. Wow. But the problem with like doing like very, very long fasts, like I even tried my best to go back eating slowly after that, but no, I wanted to binge. I wanted like the biggest, fattest steaks, and I found the biggest, fattest roasts, and I would like cook them and eat them like steaks. And I was like, I wonder why I gained weight. Boo-hoo.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Go back to working out more, and I don't know. I've tried so many things. I just got off an egg fast too, and I lost about 7 pounds with that one. And it was weird because I had water weight, and I'm like, why the hell do I have water weight? And all I can think of is like, I need to bounce on the trampoline more and get those lymph nodes moving or something. Or do that lymphatic massage that Kelly Hogan talks about. Because I did it one time, but I didn't do it like regularly every week. And if you do it every week, it's better, I guess. And I haven't been doing that. And I wonder, because I started that, I should have just kept going, because it just kind of hangs all that. I do drink a lot of water too, so maybe I just need to bounce on my trampoline more, put a load in my washer the wrong way, and just stand on it and just be like,
That's awesome. I love your energy. And look, someone that you love to watch is here. Nia's here. She wants to know, do you still take electrolytes? And how do you feel? Do you feel like you need them still?
I actually don't take them anymore. I have a whole bunch, and I'm like, kids, if you're feeling like you need them, they're over there. I just have like this sad pile of stuff in the corner of my kitchen because I don't use them. Instead, I decided to salt to taste, like everybody said, and eat more fat. And I haven't had any problems. And when I did the sardine fast, I noticed that I started to cramp in my legs, and I'm like, oh no, what happened? And if you watch any of my videos on the sardine fast, I will go, I didn't drink enough water that day. And I know I didn't, because all of a sudden I started to get like really bad cramps. And I know, like, with sardines, you're getting like a powerhouse of all the stuff you need, like the zinc, the magnesium, the iodine, all that crap. So I didn't need any of that. And that's like kind of what's in the electrolytes, I guess, the potassium and all that junk. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just didn't drink enough water. Like, it's a big deal. So if you are cramping, maybe think about if you're drinking enough water during the day, you know, try it out. Because I did, and I felt better, and I didn't cramp. So anytime I do have weird cramps, I'm like, wait a minute, did I drink enough water today? Always have to check.
Yeah, interesting. I still do take electrolytes. I was getting cramps at night in my legs and my calves, and the electrolytes keep that in check. And now I just like them. But I would like to, that kind of was a perfect question into, we have a new carnivore here. It looks like she's on day 8. So welcome. And she says, what's up with this back pain? Very lower back, not up the sides and down through my hamstring. Water is in check. Took magnesium, stretches, bath, everything, LOL. So, and then later on, she was talking about she has electrolytes, but she's nervous because of the sugar. So not all electrolytes have sugar. If you're thinking Gatorade is an electrolyte, it's actually, there's nothing in there that's good, really. The brand that I like is Salty, SALTT, and that's by Keto Chow. And you can get the unflavored ones. Well, in Element, it's called unflavored. It's I forget what the plain ones are called, but they have a plain one. But I personally like the Coco Loco, which is like a little chocolatey flavor. So that's my favorite. But those are sweetened. The flavored ones are sweetened with stevia. So those are the ones I use every single day. I don't know if I stopped taking them, if my calf cramps would come back or not, because now I just enjoy it, you know. And then my son actually likes the Redmond Relight brand, and because he likes the strawberry lemonade flavor from them. So that's what I put in his water every day. Yeah, Erin's like, that's a good one. That's a good one. And that one's convenient because it comes like in a tub, so you can just scoop it out. There's no like little packs. So the little packs are good for traveling, but when you're at home, much more convenient just to get the little tub, scoop some out. And so I do that. I cannot speak for back pain. I did not have that, but I did have very bad cramps in my calves at night. And it was the electrolytes that took care of that. I've also heard, I don't know when you took your bath, if you put Epsom salt in there, but your body can absorb those minerals from the Epsom salt through your skin very well. But I don't know. Check Dr. Boz, because she's the one who I've heard talk about it. You have to really put, I don't mean like a spoonful. It's like a whole bunch of Epsom salt in that water. So it's very, very salty. And then soak in that, and you'll absorb that through your skin. And that's another way to get those minerals. And it can't, you know, with back pain and an Epsom salt, nice hot Epsom salt bath, I don't see how you could lose. So those would be the things I would try. How about you ladies, Erin or Ellie? Do you guys have any recommendations?
It could just be oxalate dumping, and you might want to just brew some really dark black unsweet tea and just take a few sips and see if you feel better. You could try that.
Interesting.
Now, I didn't have like really bad transition because I was eating like a gestational diabetes my way diet, but I also was drinking unsweet tea, blackened unsweet tea, and I would complain to my kids, why don't I have the carnivore diarrhea? Everybody has the carnivore diarrhea. What is going on? That's all you hear when you're watching the YouTube about it. And I'm like,
yeah.
Am I even doing this right? You know?
I know, right? Everybody, the poop talk. I think every carnivore has to talk about the poop because everyone's like, "What about fiber?" So, I think that was pretty awesome advice. I hope that helps, Tana. I did want to ask you. So, a lot of people must have seen your transformation, right? Like how energetic you are, and how you're exercising more, and your weight loss, and I'm sure you're just radiating now. What's like your go-to response like when people say like don't you miss like this junk food? Why can't you eat this junk food?
So in the beginning, it was somebody's birthday because it's always somebody's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I make you cake. And my daughter was like, "Don't you want this cupcake?" And I was like, "No, actually, I don't." Weird. And I walked away. That's just how I feel. I don't want it. I don't really need it. Like, I literally, when I had that one cookie and then I ended up having 5, I had to force myself to eat the first one. Like, it's hard to do this, especially when you're already, I think I was pretty sure I was fat adapted to that because I had to force myself to eat it. But how I acted with it, I was like, oh, I got a carb addiction. I better walk away now or this will be bad. Type of deal.
Yeah, I just made my 2-year video. I have to finish editing it, but that was one of my main benefits that it's like there could be a cupcake waving right in front of my nose and I wouldn't want it. It's crazy. We're doing an experiment in my class where they're making a lunar lander and I'm going to drop it and they have their astronaut and their astronaut has to stay in the seat. And when I drop it and not fall out, and the astronaut is a marshmallow. So I had this bag of marshmallows. They're not to eat. They're just for astronauts. But I mean, I could smell them. Right. And, it didn't even tempt me. Like I'm sitting there with this and I'm like, it's not even tempting at all. And so it's crazy that after the first couple of months, when I was still keto, meat heavy keto, I was still kind of tempted, but the longer I stay in it, and I've been in for, 2 years now, if you include my couple of months on keto there, it's like I don't have any cravings. I wonder if I gave in, like what you said that one time with the biscotti and then you ate 5. I bet you that's what would happen to me because I was completely addicted. So I did want to make sure to answer this question because I'm the one who brought up the fat fast. So what is allowed on a fat fast? I am not a fat fast expert, nor am I a doctor, but I've watched a few people talking about fat fast. I know Anita from Ketogenic Woman does them often, or, she's periodically. And so I know she has videos about them, but the reason, the thing about the fat fast is that you can eat up to about 300 calories of fat and it will not spike your insulin. Your insulin will just stay steady. Probably the thing I should have eaten that I didn't was I have a bunch of ribeye trimmings in my freezer, all the fat trimmings from the half cow I bought. And it's like I haven't taken them out because they're not in individual packages. It's like a ginormous thing of fat and it's just frozen. I think I need to get like an ice pick and chip it apart. So I still haven't busted that out of there. So I ate some butter on that fat fast. I ate egg yolks, just the yolks on there. I ate some cream cheese, some heavy cream. If I would have had the beef fat, it would have been better. I'm trying to think if I ate anything else. It's not that you can have no protein. Like the egg yolks have a little bit. The cream cheese has a little bit. I don't know the percentage, honestly. I think it's like 85% fat or something like that. So if I would have had those next time, I've told myself next time, if you're going to do another fat fast, get that fat out of there, chip some of it off, throw it in the air fryer. Cause I think that would have, definitely the first 2 days were easy and I was going to stop, but I woke up feeling good on day 3. So I just went ahead and continued. But by day 4, I was ready to like get back. And you shouldn't fat fast longer than 2 or 3 days anyways, from my understanding. Again, not a doctor. Either of you guys have anything that did I leave anything out or do you know anything about fat fasting for target prime rib?
I do not.
Okay. Ellie, anything?
No, as you know, I don't like fasting. So no, but I could see the benefit though. Absolutely. Especially for mental health because I eat a lot of fat, like maybe 150, 200 grams of fat a day. And I definitely notice a difference when I have a higher amount of fat versus protein. Yeah, I like what Bruce said. Protein is just a vehicle for the fat. So I would love to share your channel, Erin. Could you please tell us your YouTube channel and what kind of content you share and what you like to do over there?
I like to do stuff.
Oh, come on. You do more than that. Come on. Hype it up.
So I just got off of a 5-day egg fast, but I basically, I don't know what I did, but all of a sudden I'm making movies every day. And you know what's going to happen is I'm going to burn out, guys. Go watch it. Go watch it. I can't. I got too much energy. But yeah, I usually just record myself eating stuff. Usually sardines. I do a lot of like feeding my chickens and things. And I don't know, I just have fun. I do whatever I want to do. It's my channel.
Oh, that's awesome. I think what I like about your channel, I think it's because you're a very authentic person and it feels like you're watching a real person. You're not just, like it's not an influencer and everything is like super polished. You're just like, I'm me. I've changed my life and I want to share it with you. And so I always appreciate your authenticity and your support of our channels and the show as well. Oh, yeah, this is a great question.
I put this up because you were talking about her channel, and I didn't want to leave Bruce out. So, Bruce, this about your channel. Bruce says, I remember you mentioning that one of your kids is responsible for your handle. And which kid was that again?
Oh, it's your favorite, Bruce. It's Garlic. My daughter, Scarlett. I told them on a live stream what they used to call her, all the kids, because they couldn't say her name. They would call her Garlic. She was like, you guys better not call me Garlic. And everybody called her Garlic. But she was about 3 and she was singing about goats. And I'm like, what is she saying? She's saying booby goats. And I was thinking about, I needed a channel name for YouTube. And I was like, that's perfect because nobody's going to have that. And it's going to be like, what is this? And then people click on it. And they're like, it's wholesome. What is this?
That is funny. Well, it is my turn to present my screen now because Ellie got to do her thing. I think you know what's coming up now, Erin. We have a meaty wheel around here that we like to spin. It is going to spin a question for you, and you get to answer it for us. So here we go. Are there any foods or meals that hold special significance or memories for you? Do you miss those since switching diets?
No. I think there is one. I mean, I have to cook so much that even in my memory, none of them are like really significant because every time like I'd have cereal for breakfast, I would just be like feeling sick afterwards. Anytime I'd have like oatmeal or something, I just feel gross. I don't know. There's like maybe my mom, and it was probably a breakfast thing. She was making cream of wheat and she put like a bunch of butter on top, and that butter was so good. It's so weird. Like I start thinking about things and I'm like, what I really, really liked about that was like on popcorn, I just really like butter and salt.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just put salt on some butter and just eat that and I'm fine. Or even with my kids, they're not even eating the popcorn. So let's just have to try this butter and salt. I remember my best friend were at her house and she was like, watch this, and she took a whole stick of butter and started eating it, and her mom was like, Rachel, what are you doing? Put the butter down. She's like, but I like it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
so if you're eating butter, I'm like, you eat that butter, go on, baby, go for it.
Exactly. No, I agree too. Like all the foods that I ate as a child, all my favorite things were the fatty part or the meat part, but
yeah, that was my favorite as a kid.
That's awesome. Okay. No, you're fine. No, I was just thinking about like how it's so unfortunate how a lot of these starchy foods, and they're in the combinations with the protein and the fat, right? But we think that what we want is the volume of the starchy foods, but it's actually what we're craving is the protein and the fat, and that just makes me kind of sad sometimes. But we know better now, and we can continue to share our story. I think it's time for the roar. Are you guys ready for that? You think
Yes,
so?
if you're watching from Erin's channel and this is the first time watching our show, we always end the show with a roar, and we love for you as the audience to participate. So in a minute here, Ellie is going to count us down. I bet she's going to push the button right now. Come on, button pusher. There it is. Get ready to roar. And when Ellie counts us down, type that roar right in the comments and we will pop them up on the screen. And Erin, I think you know what to do as a guest on screen with us here. So Ellie, count us down.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Roar! Oh, she had the dino roar. Dino roar.
Heck yeah. It was fantastic. Cristie, you want to bring those up for me?
Yes, I could do that. We've got lots of awesome roars coming in. I think I even missed one up here. Yes, I missed Mike's roar up here. There we go. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Barb.
Make sure that if you're watching the replay, like you could be a roar of the week. Make sure to type in roar to let us know that you watched all the way to the end, listening to Erin's entire amazing story, so we can personally thank you for sticking with us through this whole time. But look how many roars we've been getting today.
I know, so many. And thank you to those 3 people that I was able to shout out at the beginning of the show who took Ellie's advice and roared for us while watching the replay. We love all the roars, both live and from our replay crew. Nice to meet you, Bill. Thanks for coming in. And one final roar here from Kelly. Oh, look, here comes William. He doesn't want to be left out. I wonder where Eric is. I missed my roar, Picanha roar, Eric.
We did get one banner out of Picanha, so
we did.
It's pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone. Thank you, Erin, for coming on and sharing your story with us. We know we'll see you around the chat here at Lioness Lifestyle Live. And for all of you, thank you for watching. We hope that you will tune in next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific or 8 p.m. Eastern, whichever of those fits you, or anywhere in between or elsewhere in the world. But until next week, have a great week, everybody. We have another guest for you. I'm excited for this one. So we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.